we try to put on some really good training here, but our board has some really great
They
training
have
too.
really good instructors that come in and do a lot of good classes there.
Yeah, the
So I would
MLS
check their classes too to see what they have.
Yeah, the MLS actually has instructors that go around and do classes at the boards.
And I think it's at the Gopher University, it's online, available all the time
Yeah,
to
there's
check
a
that
lot of
one.
online stuff too, but Brett's an expert, so he can show you.
Okay, these people want a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, no yard work, and they have a small, medium-sized dog. And they don't wanna do any yard work, but they want a pool and a clubhouse, and within an hour of the airport.
Okay, so, and single family, not condo?
Condominium, they wanna be in a complex, they're a little older. And
Okay,
they're coming from Michigan and they wanna see 3 places.
so a community pool,
A community pool, yes,
okay.
doesn't have to be,
But no single family,
no, they have no
Okay.
kids, and,
but I mean a house, no house as opposed to a condo.
no, they want like a unit in a condominium complex, similar to
Okay.
Rolls Landing.
Okay.
Is where I was gonna show them one of those units.
Okay, so right off the bat, it defaults to active, so we've got that. And then I'm gonna put 2 and 2, I'm not gonna do plus or minus, because that's what they want, is 2 and 2. And then did they tell you anything on square footage, how big?
No,
No.
not too big, they don't want
Okay.
anything too big.
Alright, well, we'll just
Under
see,
500,000,
we'll see what our options are for now, under 500,000?
uh-huh.
Oh, that's.
That's not gonna
something
narrow
decent
much
to
down
work
for you,
with.
yeah.
A 2 under 500,000, they can probably get a few of them.
At the same time.
So then we're gonna choose condominium. And villa, would they consider a villa? You
Yeah.
familiar with a villa?
Mhm.
So then I'm gonna hold control and select villa as well, so then we can see both of them are highlighted. And if I wanna be within, how far of the airport?
Within an hour of an airport,
No, that's anywhere, well, what airport though?
I guess it
Is
doesn't
Punta
matter.
Gorda okay, or is
Punta
it?
Gorda would be fine.
Okay.
They're from Michigan, so.
Okay, so I mean, pretty much anywhere around here is gonna be, if we're on the north end, we're within an hour of Sarasota Airport, and if we're on the south end, we're right next to the Punta Gorda Airport and way less than an hour to Fort Myers.
Okay.
So we don't care about the city, we just care about the airport.
Airport,
Okay,
and the dog is the crucial thing.
okay, so then for dog, we are gonna go down here, do you know how much the dog weighs?
No, I know it's old, she has a Facebook picture every day of it.
Well, if it's old, it's a lot lighter than it was.
It's a-
I know how my dogs went, they got real skinny before they had to go.
It's a Labrador something.
Okay, so
kind of-
it's
not a
probably-
small pet.
Okay, so once I go down here, the key is choosing detail versus basic, right? So you see when I went to search residential and instead of quick, sorry, not basic, quick,
Mhm.
I went to detail. The reason I go to detail is because after this line right here, I get these other choices. So is parking important, like all those kinds of things. And then also, sorry, after this line right here, the additional fields, that's where I have like pets allowed and all that.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna say yes, and then I'm gonna choose a few here because I don't know the weight of the dog.
Let's say 60 pounds.
Okay, so I'm gonna say medium to extra large. So I'm gonna say medium, hold down control and hit all 3 of these, okay? And then, let's see, and then I'm just gonna put in Charlotte and Sarasota counties.
Okay.
Oops, that would be city. So I'm gonna say Charlotte. And Sarasota. And then I need 500 or minus, cause see when I didn't see how I have 0 matches
Mhm.
down here? I have 500 in there, which means I'm looking for $500,000 period with all that criteria.
Oh,
So I want
gotcha.
500 minus. And then it opens up 152 matches. Okay? And then the other thing was the pool, that's important, right? So
Uh-huh.
private pool, I don't really care about. Pool available, and that's gonna pick up community or a private pool. Cause sometimes, it's not very often, but sometimes a villa might have its own pool.
Hmm.
There's a couple of products in, Punta Gorda Isles where they're villas, and then on the lanai, the wall through the houses continues, and then they each have a small private pool. But it doesn't happen very often. So then that narrows us down to 136, and then I look at the results, and then I can just start weeding it out from there.
Okay, thank you, that was
Yeah.
good.
Absolutely.
Hey Brett, can we
Yeah.
do search a set of a showing for 2416 Ryan? Is that right in Punta Gorda?
Yeah, it's probably this PGI, right?
Yeah, and then there's another 2516 Padre Island.
Okay.
So it is a showing cart.
One more on Susie's.
There's another one, Susie.
Okay.
You can just show
Do
me
you,
how to,
do you have MLS numbers with those, or just the addresses?
just the addresses.
Okay. So I'm gonna show you the easiest way to do it. Jim, can you just write these down for me? Yeah, that's fine. I did, just so that I remember it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go get the MLSs for the three of them and then pull up all three of them so I can do the showings together.
Okay.
So the first one, Jim, is C7415204. And then, what were the other addresses, Talisa?
2516 Padre Island.
So that is C7421264. And the last one?
I'm trying to find it, it's on Susie Street.
Do you have a Supra in one?
I'm sorry?
Do you have a Supra?
I do.
You do, okay.
I'll just look at it. Is it 1518?
Yes, is it, Brendan's? From the,
4649. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so this one is C7422062. The reason I do that is just so that I can, because now what I can do is I can punch in all of those MLS numbers. The speed bar up here, I use this speed bar all the time. This is pretty much all I use unless I'm doing a detailed search, if I'm just looking up a quick property. However, it won't let me do multiple multiple addresses, but it will let me do multiple MLS numbers. So then, now that I have those three MLS numbers, C7, yep, thank you.
The reason why I asked if you had your super is we had an agent recently that, made a suggestion to the office that when a new agent joins, we do have kind of like a kind of a roadmap of what you need to do. One of the things is we tell them they need to go to the board, get signed up with the board, and find out what they need to do with the MLN. We assume the board will take them through their roadmap. Well, in the orientation, they told them about the super, but they never said, well, how do you get the super?
yeah, I did the one on my phone.
You know what?
Missed that first step.
I go over there to pay Science and $1,368, and I said, "Can I get my Supra key or that phone app?" No, Michael, don't get it because it's you don't want to pay that kind of money because Kellers won't let you do anything for a few months. You know what? A week later, I need it.
They
I
said-
was upset with
They
that.
said, who won't let it, you do?
Sonia hasn't told me not to get. She won't give it. She doesn't want to give it to me because I won't need it for a few months.
Because you haven't been through orientation?
Yes, that's ridiculous. I mean, come on.
Were they only doing orientation every 6 months now? Like,
Every
Do it every
6 weeks.
every
Yeah.
other- Every other month.
February
so
which
what's
is
the problem?
ridiculous.
Yeah.
I wanna go
Get
through
them
that.
to change that.
Okay, so now I've punched in all three MLSs, right? So now when I hit enter to bring up those search results, now I have those three in one search, and I can just go through and I can hit showing time and I can just start to schedule all those showings. So are you familiar with how to do a showing cart?
No.
Okay, so if I was just showing one house, I would do schedule a single showing, okay, pretty self-explanatory. When I have three that I wanna set up like this, or however many in a day, then I'm gonna hit add to showing cart, and then I'm gonna choose the day that I'm going out.
Just today.
You can put the buyer name in here if you want, I don't know where that goes, so I'm not concerned with it. That's kind of a new field. Now, under description, I will, because I'm pretty sure this only comes to me as far as what I see, I'll put the last name of who I'm taking out and like, you know, Smith Condos Wednesday, whatever. And then hit okay. I'm not going to because it's gonna set all these up, but that's how you would do it.
She does wanna set them up for today.
Well, I do have to call him first though.
Oh, okay.
Make sure what time.
Yeah, these would go under my, cause I mean, I could,
Yeah.
so if you got that figured out, we could go through it and I can help you with it, but, so you'd set these up, and one of the cool things is, maybe this is another class we could do at some point, is, you know, tips and tricks with showing time.
That could be a video.
Again, it's gonna set everything up for me, so I don't wanna do this. But one of the really cool things is once I set up all those 3 times, I can do a map that will actually calculate the best order to go in those properties, give turn-by-turn directions. I can email that to the customer. It's really cool how it works.
Yeah, we can do a separate class on that. So one of the changes we made towards the end of last year was we started the mentoring program, right? I don't know if you're all familiar with that, but we did. We had a handful of mentors that were working with other agents. Brett did several, right? Quite a handful. Bobby's doing some right now. Who else is mentoring?
I really don't know because those 2 seem to be the most successful. I don't know of any other
Yeah,
relationships.
Nancy's kind of working with some agents, kind of on an informal mentoring program.
You have for ventilating?
Anyway, we've had kind of.
Ken and Karen.
Ken and Karen, yeah, we've kind of had, and I know there've been a few others, but we've had kind of mixed results with it, like the mentoring.
Just get with David and he'll help you out with the mentoring
Yeah,
program.
so the mentoring program is one thing that, you know, we're working on. If it's something you want to know more information about, yeah, talk to David or me or Brett or Bobby, you know, they can fill you in on what's going on with it too. But the other thing, one of the reasons that Brett's been very involved in the technology in the office, of course. Well, one of the changes that Keller Williams is making now, because we are a technology company, is the region has a technology director now who is going to provide support to all offices in the region. Well, the other recommendation they made was you should have a technology director in your office, okay? So Brett's going to take on that role as the technology director. And so one of the things he's already got scheduled is, we have those Scott Leroy webinars, right, like on,
Wednesdays, I think?
Wednesdays, they're on the calendar.
Yeah.
So what
When?
Brett's gonna be doing this month is kind of following up those webinars with like a workshop or class or whatever you wanna call it, on whatever that topic was in that webinar that day, right?
Good idea.
What's that?
Good
I
idea.
said that's a great idea.
Yeah, so that's how, but that'll expand too, like he's gonna.
right next to you, Liz.
There is.
Yeah.
With the command coming out, everybody's gotta get on command, cause it's gonna change it's gonna be a game changer for your business. Whether you're on it or not, it's gonna change your business.
Gotta be on it.
If you don't
The
get
choice
on
is
it-
up to you.
Yeah, so if you don't get on it, you might not be in business.
What is
So
command?
It's the new software that Keller Williams is developing in-house.
It's all
It has already developed in-house. They decided about 3 to 4 years ago that they were tired of hiring third-party vendors to provide our tools and resources, and then find out that one of them gets bought out by Trulia, who gets bought out by Zillow, and now all our agents' contact management system is in the hands of somebody that's trying to put us out of business. So they decided at that time they were going to develop their own software. And from that point forward, now we have like 300 data processing professionals working for the company in Austin, Texas, and they can turn things around. Like, so the biggest benefit it is we own it. We don't have to partner with third parties that we don't maybe necessarily trust. We don't have to pay extra fees to get changes made to things that we want changed in the software, and they can turn it around like that. I mean, they had like Family Reunion is our big convention every year and that this year it's gonna be, and it's always in February, and this year it's in Dallas. And then Mega Camp's the other giant event that our company holds, and that's in August in Austin every year. And I think at one of those events, I forget which one it was, when they realized that one of the powerful portions of information that we have is, we've got the profit sharing information going back 35 years. So they had this like Fort Knox worth of data sitting there that they can use for AI, so they can use that to enhance our software, right? But what they realized was agents started getting into the habit of, when they put their contacts in, they had an email address and a phone number.
That was it.
They got away from getting addresses, because who uses addresses anymore? Well, they also developed this landing page where you can set up somebody's landing page for their own neighborhood or anywhere they want to go, but for their own neighborhood that's based on Nextdoor. Are you guys all familiar with Nextdoor?
Mhm.
So Nextdoor came to Keller Williams because we are so large, and they wanted to partner up with us to provide like a real estate component to Nextdoor experience. So now we have access to all the Nextdoor neighborhoods, which like Zillow and Trulia and most of the other search engines only have zip code or city searches. So we can zoom into somebody's neighborhood a lot better. But the problem is, if you don't have an address, you don't know which neighborhood to go into.
Yeah.
So then within, what did they started out? They said it was like 8% of the agents had 8% of the contacts in Command had addresses. When they announced that at Family Reunion.
Yeah, yeah.
By the end of the day, it had like doubled, and then
Went to 14%.
14%. Within that, by the end of that day, that first day. So that's how quickly things can change when you have the resources available to you.
We're planning on doing some short videos that'll be just like one person showing how to do this on our YouTube page in like a series of classes. So it'll be every little aspect of that kind of divided up in like short, no longer than 20-minute training videos where somebody can watch it at any point. That was one of the big things we decided we're going to do this year. So we're having people who are using Command at a high level do those individually, and then we're going to put them all together, and there'll be a list even in the Facebook page and on the YouTube channel where it'll just be this series of classes. So that when you start, you know, or you need a refresher, you need to do a new thing, it'll be there for you.
Well, right after this, David's, what do you do, Facebook?
Yeah.
Yeah, generating leads through Facebook ad campaigns on Command.
What time is it?
12:36.
So I have a question that I'd like to see if you can cover today. I went into Command this morning to watch a video and it said unavailable. I don't know if that was a technical difficulty on my part, because I have.
We're gonna go with that.
And there could be.
It's not Tuesday.
It could be a technical difficulty on there. It was how to prepare an offer in 3 easy steps. And it was just posted on January 3rd, 2020.
How did you get to it? For
Command. Connect. Mhm.
Let's see.
Wait, are we moving right now?
So this is Command.
Let's see if it works here.
You're going.
Party.
I'm going into Connect, but yeah, one of the nice things about Command is it's now giving us a direct entrance into Connect. Before we had to go find it, and it was a nightmare.
Yeah.
So like if you go in here and you see something that you don't like or you think could be better, you have the ability to put a suggestion in through the labs, and if they get enough of the same suggestions, they'll make the change.
What was it again, Linda?
Preparing an offer, like in 3 easy steps. It was right on the front page. If you just scroll down, 3 simple steps, no?
Okay, I'll go back. You said it was on the front page.
Yeah.
How to create an offer?
Yep. January 3rd, it was just posted, so, now it's making you sign in again.
That's okay, it does that.
How to create an offer. Oops, an error occurred.
So it did get there? Yeah,
You see?
it's on their side.
Okay, David.
Hey, I didn't do it. Hey, use your tech guy right there.
Well,
No, he tried to say it
You
was
were
her.
blaming me.
Does this have to do with Command?
No, it doesn't, it's separate.
It's, yeah,
So,
but it's a place we can go and watch
It-
videos
It's a dead
usually.
link that they're not aware of, so somebody should probably make them aware in the Facebook groups.
I'll let them know right now.
So, yeah, there's support@kw.com, you can just click on that link and let them know, hey, there's a problem with this, right?
David's on it. So one of the beautiful things about this proprietary software is it's not built by tech nerds who are making guesses at how realtors are gonna use it. It's actually turned a lot of realtors into tech nerds. I mean, a lot of the people that are really hands-on in Austin are leaders of big real estate teams that were just realtors before this. They obviously were technologically inclined and wanted to be a part of it, but that's how, I mean, right, like Bobby Moats and Cody Gibson's heavily involved in it too, so.
Lance Logan.
Right.
So that's the beauty of our company, because we are the largest real estate company in the world. We don't have any debt, we don't have any shareholders. We, our company can afford to spend $1 billion developing the software. Nobody else can do that.
Those passwords, like your login information, I think they were emailed to me.
Okay.
And I think I deleted my inbox because I had so much crap in there. I hit a button and it deleted all.
But normally when you delete that, it then goes to trash and you have
Right.
to delete it again, so it's probably in your trash folder.
Oh,
And we can, just let us know, we can get that back to you.
all right,
Do
thank
you
you.
want to talk about this landing page?
Yeah, I can. It doesn't seem to be loading all the photos, but.
So one of the concerns, complaints, whatever you want to call it, that we've been hearing from agents is, oh, that command, that's not working, it breaks down. It's not done, they're never gonna be done developing it, they're always gonna be making improvements to it, but you gotta use it so they can make sure it's working right.
It's revolutionary. I mean, it really is. Nobody else is really building their own platform that is based completely on their agent's productivity. Nobody's invested in the agents the way that Gary has, period, from day one, as far as that goes. And it's like Disney said when he was asked, when is Disney World gonna be done? Well, I hope it's never gonna be done, because as long as we keep dreaming, we can keep building it,
Yeah.
right?
Well, the thing is, with this system, is the reason why it's being built the way it is because they realized in the old days, we had a bunch of tools that were all independent of one another. So to do this part of the job, you had to go into this tool, and to do this part of the job, you went into this tool, and then every step of the way, you were using something else to manage your business. This is gonna be end to end, from, contact management to closing the transaction and staying in touch with your customers after the transaction.
And the main goal of all this is for the end user customer experience, right? So when we look at this is the neighborhood snapshot that Jim was talking about how we just used to do email addresses and phone numbers maybe, but we didn't care about physical addresses. When you plug in a physical address, then it allows this to happen. And now this is how the customer sees it, right, from their side. The cool thing is, not only can you add neighborhoods for them on your side, but they can go to add neighborhood and add something for themselves. And then you'll get alerted that, hey, so-and-so added this neighborhood to their neighborhood landing page, and you can see if they wandered off into a different community. That can spark a phone call and a conversation to talk about that. This looks very much like your Agent IDX website, which is continually evolving, and the new app, when it switches over to the new consumer app, it's going to look just like this as well. The idea is that they all look the same, so the consumer is involved in the same experience.
Right, so if you haven't downloaded your app, you should, because you should be sharing that with everybody you come in contact with. And like Brett said, right now it's still the red version, I'll call it, the original version, which is still pretty cool. Most of the people I've shared mine with really like it, and they share it with other people. But the new one's gonna be even better, and the intent of that is to get people to use your app instead of going on Zillow, instead of going on Redfin or whatever else they might be using to search. Because that's frustrating when you're trying to work with a customer and they're talking about stuff they found on Zillow, which It's not very accurate most of the time.
No,
so-
I've honestly had it come up twice just in the last 2 or 3 months, and we're talking 18-month-old properties.
The oldest one I had was 5 years,
Oh my, it's crazy.
and it was
It
like,
still shows active.
yeah, it was a like 2,500 square foot house on the water for like 175,000. And the guy called me. He's like, "This is great. What else can you show me?" I was like, "Nothing, because it's a different decade." So.
Yeah, an agent, one of our agents this morning just told me he sold a lot up in Ocala, which I cringed, but he sold a lot, but when it went in Zillow, it was a $7,500 lot. It went in as a 3-2 for $7,500.
I had one in Port Charlotte show that it had an $800 HOA fee. It wasn't in an HOA.
Yeah, so when people start talking about Zillow, they know they're not accurate, they don't care, they just wanna collect as much data from customers as possible and then sell it to agents who will be willing to pay them for leads.
Well, and what customers like most about Zillow is the UI, the user interface, and the experience that they get with it. And so that's why KW is working so hard on creating a similar, better, ultimately, user experience with accurate information. That's the cool thing, is that all this information comes from MLSs, directly from MLSs, not from old dated syndication feeds and things like that.
What about the MLS detective that you see? I've been seeing the emails come in from that and clicking on it. It seems pretty easy and current.
So
I
what's
found
that?
Keller
'Cause when you
Williams,
say MLS
Remax.
detective, I'm thinking of an agent team that's with
There
Remax.
is one.
That is what
Yeah,
it is.
Okay.
Remax comes up, but they also have other, I mean, you could kind of search for everything. I've been playing with that, because I'm not real good with the computer. I haven't touched a computer in 10 years.
Oh, those guys are pretty techy and they do have some nice searches and stuff on their emails, but, or on their sites. And there's
That's
a
just
few-
strictly a Remax company, MLS detective?
They're a team
They're a
with
team.
Remax, yeah.
It's no different like Nancy Weber. Nancy Weber has a lot of people that use her website because it's been out there for a long time and it's easy to use. There's a couple agents out there that seem to get more people using their websites, but what you want is people to be using your app.
My app, so I mean, you load that on your phone?
And you can
Yeah.
share it with other people. And what's cool is when people register in it, it tells you if they like the property. So it's the same thing they do in Zillow, but the information is more accurate, and you're getting the information that they're
How
putting
do I
in.
load that onto my cell phone?
We'll get that done today.
Yeah, we can show you. So,
I didn't bring my phone.
here's why it's done that way.
Content agent.
Nobody is, and it used to be the case, so I don't mean to like make fun, but it used to be the case that they would drive around and wife or spouse, partner, whatever, has the laptop in their lap, right? And they're driving around. Now it's on their phone. And when they see a property they like, because now it'll use GPS and they can say, show me homes around me, and it will start loading all the houses around them using GPS coordinates. And when they see something they like, they can just click on the phone and it will call that agent. Can't do that from a laptop. You can, but not as easy. That gets more techy. So everything is mobile devices now. And that's why the app is probably more important than your website.
Yeah, and so if they are driving around looking for houses, and they find one they wanna see and they put a request in to see it, you'll get a notification.
Oh, I like that, it comes to me instead
The
of.
only, it will if you're in your local market. If you're like someplace else in the country, because where'd you move from again?
Friday Harbor, Washington.
Okay, so if they're driving around up there and they put an inquiry in, it'll likely go to their, to the local market center, although they're supposed to be changing that, right, David?
What's that?
They're supposed to be changing the app so that a lead on a listing will come to you regardless of where the person is.
It doesn't matter where in the United States they'll be.
Did they already change that?
No.
Okay, but they're supposed to be changing that. So what you gotta do is train your customers, like if somebody up there that you might know that's looking to buy a house or sell a house, tell them to contact you to let you know what they wanna see, and you'll find an agent for them to help them up in that area. So you get a referral off it.
So if I had a customer in Arizona and I shared my app with them via text message or email, then they plan on moving here to Florida, it would link in that way?
Yeah, they can search anywhere there's an MLS.
Yeah, if they're searching, if somebody in Arizona is looking for property here, just to be clear, if one of your friends or family members is looking for property using your app in Florida where you are, and they select contact agent, it's gonna go to you.
Okay.
Okay.
And you can get creative with how you get people to that app and how you advertise it. So like I bought a domain, brgmobilesearchapp.com, and when you go to it, this is what shows up. They can just punch in their number, say send link to my device, it sends a link to their device and they download it right there. So you can hit them from all different directions, you can get creative with it.
I could use my business website, create a link on that maybe?
Absolutely, yep, and your website should have a link to your app. Yeah.
You talk about your
Like for marine repair.
Sure.
I get like 500 hits a month.
Yeah. When you have a wealth of customers like that in a previous business or a business you're doing at the same time, there's nothing wrong with.
Yeah, we just gotta be careful you're in compliance with FREC so that you have the registered name of the brokerage on there too, when they go to make that link, right?
If they click on the link though and it takes them to like this page where it has maybe not all that stuff that it should have to be compliant. Yeah, so that, I mean, that's a valid point. If you are gonna mix them, you just gotta make sure that you're in compliance.
Yeah. Basically what that means is it's gotta have Peace River Partners on it, and what we recommend is you use the KW logo with Peace River Partners built into it. That's the simplest thing to do.
See a webmaster for that.
Well, you get a website with KW, with your KW software.
I was just thinking how I could link it to my current website that gets a lot of action.
Yep.
Yeah, we could check on that for you, as far as what the compliance issues would be. I don't think that there'd be any compliance issues if it was just click on this link and then it takes them to the page and everything's compliant there, but we'll have to check.
Anybody got anything else?
Yeah, what's the brown bag about? I brought one.
You get to
I thought it was
blow
some
into
type
it
of
while you
rose.
hyperventilate
I thought it was
over
a
the
rose.
overwhelming
I was like, heck
technology.
yeah, I'm going.
I guess it's old school. Brown bag's like, if you wanna bring something big with you, bring a brown bag with you. So.
I tried to get some refreshments sponsored, but you couldn't fit it in today.
Okay, all right.
Sorry.
Would you guys prefer if we had refreshments?
You should have called me, I could have made some.
You would probably get more people involved if you had a local vendor.
Okay, so what we will do
Simple.
is we will probably, if we're gonna bring in a guest, that's gonna be like the expert for the day or whatever, we could ask them if they wanna sponsor it.
How many of these are you doing? Are you doing these weekly or
We're doing
monthly?
like one here in Port Charlotte, and then one in 2 weeks from now, doing one in Punta Gorda. We'll probably just kinda keep doing that.
Going back and forth, okay.
Yeah, so that's just something new we're adding. It's gonna be a process this year, working with Gianna and John on the training calendar, so we don't wanna be stepping on too many toes, right? So we gotta figure out kinda some standard kinda schedule that you're working on stuff for, we're working on stuff for, and then.
Can I give
Well, we
a
are working to improve it.
public relations announcement? Who are the 8 new agents? New.
Needing training.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's the one thing they tell you to do after you graduate, in the first 2 years? They say do it right away, post 45, right?
Yeah.
Post
Yeah.
45, have you heard this?
Yeah.
Okay, you get your license, they say get that post 45 right out of the way. There's an opportunity here, we have partnered with a school, Magnolia Real Estate School. Michelle Early, she's fantastic. She's doing post 45.
I owe you.
Missy, keep it down back there.
The bad kids always sit in the back.
Here's what you need about post 45. Francis, you might want to hear this too. Frank. Frank. Post 45 is happening here January 27th through the 31st. It is a 5-day course, if you can do it during the day. The cost to agents outside of this company is $249, $250. Cost to agents in this company is $200. So it's a $50 savings, and you can do your post 45. Okay. It's very similar to our program called Ignite. It's not an Ignite program. You guys don't even know what that is if you're new, but it's the same type of and here's the beautiful thing about her school, which is being done right here because we partnered with her. Every day she brings in 2 guests. Jim will be one of them doing contract class. Somebody else will be doing title questions. A mortgage officer will be here answering mortgage questions. So it's not just the same old boring post 45 that you might have, that some of you others might have seen. She brings a guest. So we can sign. Yep. Michelle Early is the new game in town, an approved FREC instructor. She's the new game in town for real estate pre-licensing. She'll also be doing pre-licensing here once a month.
Doing broker class in April.
Her pass rate's like off the charts.
Yeah, off the charts.
And the other nice thing about, like David mentioned it, but in the old days, the post 45 was just a rehash of the pre-licensing class. At least that's what I remember. Like it was just stay out of jail, kind of real estate jail, and it was just a rehash of all the rules and everything. The Ignite is more how to conduct a real estate business, how to practice real estate. So it's gonna
It's all the
get you
stuff
stuff.
you thought you were gonna learn in real estate school.
Yeah, it's the stuff, yeah, exactly.
And you
It's the
might
stuff.
have, you could have absorbed all of that.
So it's
So it's real, so this is gonna be similar to Ignite.
similar to, not exactly Ignite, but it'll be very similar to it, so it'll be a lot better than.
It's a
like-
non-Kellerized version of Ignite.
So if you go to like Larson or a lot of these other schools, you're probably gonna have more of the old school kind of, post 45. This
With
is-
no practicality.
Yeah, with no
Yeah.
practical application kind of, so this is a great opportunity
And
to
that's
do
why
that.
she wants to bring in these vendors, because with the post 45, these are people that are actually doing business, or hopefully, right, at that point. And not pre-license, it's kind of irrelevant, but she really wants to bring these people in for post-license, because they're people that are actually going to be able to absorb what they're telling us in their little spiel when they come in to sponsor, and hopefully use them to grow their business.
Yeah. So, thanks for bringing that up.
You're welcome.
So, and the nice thing about it is, because we are partnering up with her, and there's a $50 savings in it for the agents, so.
Yeah. And it's right here in this classroom. So,
All right,
all right.
so you wanna get started on is there anything else you guys wanted to?
What was the date for that again?